How's it going, guys? Welcome to the first season of my NHL 17 Vegas Golden Knights franchise mode series. Hopefully you guys watched the last episode where we actually did the expansion draft and created the team, but if not, there's the team logo. I'll give you guys a look at the lineup in a second. As you can see, NHL team has 88 offense, 92 defense, and 91 goaltending. AHL team, 73 offense, 85 defense, and 78 goaltending. So the way it works, we picked one player from each team, had to go through and decide who was going to be protected on every single team, had to pick 20 players that were signed through the next season, had to make sure we hit the minimum salary cap, basically just try to build the best team possible. So right here's a look at the NHL lineup. Perreault, Sheehan, Reed on the first line there, Grigorenko, Gergensen, I hope I said that right this time, Lee, Yaskin, Kaloran, Arvidsson, Stepniak, Sevior, and Roussel on the fourth line. Hopefully I got all the names right this time. Methot, Spurgeon, Klein, McNabb, Merrill, and Shen. So really really solid top 6D. In goal here you can see we have Fleury starting, which is awesome. Probably going to end up trading him once Korpisalo gets somewhat good, or maybe even before that. I don't want to trade Fleury like when his value starts to decline. I want to trade him when I can still get something for him. Also in the NHL we have Orlov scratch, so I think I'll definitely be moving at least one, maybe even two NHL defensemen to try and bring in some forward help. As you can see, forwards aren't looking that great. AHL team here also isn't that great on forward. De La Rose, Oliver, and Poirier on the first line. Cunningham, Mueller, and Gaunt on the second. Ross, Gaudette, Selleck, and then Fournier, Moon, and Walters on the fourth line. So the forwards are rough. The defense, though, is stacked for the AHL. You got Mueller, Manson, TVR, Davidson, Berlin, and Corrado. So if we trade even like two defensemen, we can probably call up Manson. Our top four would be Mueller, TVR, Davidson, and Corrado. So that'd still be really solid for the AHL. Also, we have Malcolm Subban there as our AHL starting goaltender. So defense and goalie, we're pretty much set, at least for now. The definite need we have is forwards. So I'm going to see if we can make a couple trades here before the season gets underway to bring in some young forwards, try and trade one or two of our veteran defensemen. I'm not sure exactly what we'll be able to get back, but hopefully we can make some kind of trade work here and bring in some scoring help. So right here, guys, I'm trying to make a huge trade with Tampa Bay for Jonathan Drouin. His value really isn't that high considering he's a 21-year-old, 82 overall sniper, medium top 6'4 potential. He's only making $800K this year, and next year we have more than enough money to pay him whatever he wants. Also adding this player here just for the roster spot, sending over Klein, veteran defenseman, 85 overall, obviously will help out the Tampa Bay defense. I'm also giving them Jaskin, who isn't quite the forward that Drouin is, obviously, but he's not bad. 23, 80 overall, medium top 9. I would have held on to him, but if he gets us Drouin with Klein, I think it's a steal. Drouin usually gets really good in this game. Value's definitely on our side. We have two things they want. They don't really want to trade Drouin, but maybe for what we're offering, they'll say yes. Here we go. Trade accepted. That is huge. While making that trade, guys, I noticed how it said we're a rebuilder and Tampa Bay is a champion, which reminded me to show you the owner goals for this season. Obviously, we already know that we're considered a rebuilder, so not going to have that crazy of goals. Primary goal there is to acquire one first-round pick, so I think that's going to be pretty easy to do, especially I think that's something I want to do. Secondary goals there, win at least 28 games, so that we should be able to get at least 28 wins. That's the equivalent of 56 points. Like, if we do worse than that, that's really bad. And then average at least 75% concession fan happiness. I don't really care about that. But the other two goals I think are definitely doable, especially with that big trade made for Drouin. I'm going to try and make one more trade for like a young scoring forward. I'm not sure if it'll be like another NHL one or if it'll be maybe an AHL guy, but I'm really happy with that trade for Drouin. Right here, guys, we're trying to make another trade for a forward. This one, of course, is for Leon Draisaitl. Very solid player, 20-year-old, 84 overall center, low lead potential. A center is another thing we need. We only have 3 right now. We need that fourth one. He'd honestly be our first-line center. Value is really low right now on him, too. Less than like half of Nugent Hopkins. So I'm going to try and get him now before the value goes up. I'm offering them Luke Shen, who they want, and actually has a lot of value. Probably because he's 84 overall and he's on a really good contract. Plus, he's 26, so he technically has a bit of potential left. And I'm also adding Brandon Davidson there just to kind of sweeten the pot, send them Davidson back. So this would be a really good deal for us. Get us another solid young forward to build around. Another 2-for-1 deal. We'll see what they say here. The value is definitely on our side. What they don't want to trade Draisaitl. So here we go. 3-2-1. Trade accepted. So there we go. Draisaitl and Drouin. It's a pretty good first 2 trades. The next thing I want to do, guys, is sign a few free agents. Sumala here is a really solid two-way free agent we can sign. 22 years old, 63 overall, medium top 9. So if we can get him cheap, obviously, hopefully, he can turn into something. And if not, it's costing us like $800K. Not the end of the world. Next thing I want to do is actually sign a couple solid forwards. My plan is actually to sign them and then trade them at the deadline. So Wisniewski is available. We could sign him as well and just try to move him at the deadline. Same goes for Bergenheim and Semin. Those are 3 I think have the most value here. We can afford to sign all 3 of them. So actually, let's do that. Let's try and give Wisniewski here like a $5 million 1-year deal. Make it easier to move him at the deadline. Bergenheim here, he'd be like a solid third line guy for us. Give him 3.5 for 1 year. Again, plan on basically trading all these guys for whatever I can get at the deadline. Even if it only turns into a 7th round pick, it ends up being a free 7th round pick, which is obviously huge. 7 here will offer like $3 million for a year. They don't have any other offers, so hopefully that's good enough. I think I actually might have to trade away like one or two of our worst players to open up a roster spot for all 4 of these guys, but I guess we can do that next. And probably just start the sim after that. Really interested to see kind of how everything plays out with this team. Right here, guys, I'm trying to trade away 2 of our worst players. Mueller here is 30 years old, 77 overall. He's just a AHLer for life. And then Smerek here is 19, but he's 59 overall, only has AHL potential, and he signed for 3 years. I'd rather just kind of move on from that contract. And Anaheim wants both of them, and it looks like a 4th and a 5th is actually about equal value. So I think this would be a huge steal, as we can get way better players with those 4th and 5th round picks. So we'll see what Anaheim says. Trade accepted, so that's huge. Also, guys, Alex Semin accepted our offer, so that's huge. Can use him throughout the season, then trade him at the deadline. Bergenheim rejected. His goal is to win now. Doesn't think this team will, so we can probably pay him a bit more and get him. Haven't heard back from Werenski yet. Or sorry, not Werenski. Wisniewski. Wisniewski did accept, though, so we can go pay Bergenheim a bit more, get him on the team, and just have like 3 solid veterans help us out through the season, and then get something back for them at the trade deadline. So I'm offering Bergenheim 3.75 now. The only reason I'm really being stingy, even though we have the cap space, is because it'll make it easier to trade him at the deadline, the cheaper he is. So basically, whatever the cheapest thing is we can get him for, that's obviously what I want to try and do. We'll advance a couple days here, see if he accepts it or not. I'm thinking he will. Didn't look like he had anyone else interested. Hopefully he says something soon. As you guys can see there, he did accept the offer, so that's awesome. I'll go edit the lines now and show you guys exactly what they're looking like heading into this year. Right here, guys, I'm trying to make another trade with Anaheim. The reason I trade with Anaheim so much is simply because of the first team, but I'm trying to trade them Roussel, 26-year-old, 8-1 overall winger, low top 9 forward potential. Basically, after this year, he's done growing, and then Sevior here is a 27-year-old, 80 overall winger. No longer has the potential, so he's basically stuck at an 80. He might get to like an 81 if his morale's up. Reason I'm trading them with the sign of Semin and Bergenheim, they're both actually in the AHL now, so no real reason to have them in the AHL, especially if they're taking ice time from like our younger players with a lot more potential. Figured try and get a 3rd round pick. Looks to be about perfectly even. We'll have Anaheim's 3rd, 4th, and 5th after this. And I mean, I guess our 2 expansion picks there, 2 of our worst ones turn into a 3rd round pick. That's not too bad at all. So we'll see what Anaheim says, and they do accept that deal. So that works out well. So after making all those trades and signings, guys, here's a look at our lines. We got Drouin, Draisaitl, and Semin on the first line, Lee, Sheehan, and Perreault on the second, Reed, Gergensen, and Grigorenko on the third, and then Stempniak, Killorn, and Bergenheim on the fourth. So obviously we don't really have like a first or a second line. Pretty much all 4 of our lines are like what would probably be equal to like a 3rd line. Like even our 4th line there, 284s and 82. That's not too bad. So instead of having like a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, we have basically 4 3rd lines, which I mean it's better than kind of what we had before at least. Defense here is still looking very solid even after the trade we made. Obviously we brought back in Wisniewski to replace Klein. I mean, that's looking pretty solid there. Orlov's an 83 with some potential, so he could actually go up. And then, of course, goalies there haven't changed at all. Fleury's the starter. Corby Sala backing him up. Definitely plan on trading Fleury this year. I don't want to risk his value going down. AHL team here has also gotten a bit better. Arvidsson's got sent down now, so, you know, the top 4 wingers there are really solid. Don't have a center, though. Like, our 3rd line center is a 69. I don't think I've ever had like a 69 center in an AHL team, so just going to show you the lack of depth there on offense. Defense, though, that top 4 is definitely going to carry the AHL team with Subban and Net. I think you know those 8-9 players there, I guess, can help that AHL team win. If you guys are curious about the new ratings as well, take a look here. AHL team 74 offense, 84 defense, 78 goaltending. NHL team 90 offense, 91 defense, and 91 goaltending. So not too bad. I'm going to finish the preseason now and then start with the regular season sim. So I just finished simming through October, guys, and look at this. We are 5-1-1 through the first month of the season. I was not expecting that at all. I'm guessing it's probably to do with Marc-Andre Fleury. 2nd place right now in the Pacific Division, so pretty crazy. We'll see if we can keep this up. Kind of don't want us to keep it up as our team's not good enough to win the Stanley Cup, that's for sure. So I'd rather get those high picks for the first couple of years, but the team is playing well. The team is playing well. I guess you can't be too upset with that. As you guys can see here, we're now at the end of November, and we're still doing very well. 15-4-3 record, AHL team 10-4-4, 90 fan happiness, 75 locker room chemistry. This team is exceeding my expectations big time. Was not expecting this. 2nd place in the Pacific, still 33 points, so that's just crazy. One thing I wanted to show you guys actually was the captaincy, in case you're wondering who I decided to make the captain. So after all those trades and stuff is when I said it. Draisaitl here is one of the alternates along with Perreault, and then we have Methot there as the captain. veteran guy. He's the oldest guy in the team, I believe. Him and Fleury. I probably would make Fleury the captain if I could, but I can't. So those are the captaincies for now. Probably Dreisaitl's the only one of those three that's actually going to be on the team for longer than, like, 2 years, but I don't know if that matters or not, but in case you guys are wondering, those are the captains. We'll see what happens here in December. I still can't believe how good this team is playing. Now we're at the end of December, guys. We're still crushing it here. 22-7-7 record. Calgary was first place in Pacific before. They have a 20-14-4 record, so I think we actually might have leapfrogged them, and we might now be in first in the division. AHL team there is also doing pretty solid considering the fact their offense isn't that great. 17-7-4. Kind of like I figured, though, the defense and Malcolm Subban probably carrying the AHL team. We'll take a look here and see where exactly we are in the division. And yeah, we actually are in first place there with 51 points. 1 point ahead of second. I'm not sure who it is. It's taking forever to load, but that's still crazy. We're now at the All-Star game in January. We have a record of 28-12-8. AHL team there's 21-13-5. Can't believe we haven't fallen off yet. I was expecting us to maybe lose 10 games straight at some point, but hasn't happened yet. I can't believe really how good this team's playing. When I had sick teams, sometimes they don't even play this good. We're actually only third though in the Pacific with 64 points. As San Jose and LA, they're ahead of us. We'll take a look here, see where we are in the entire NHL, as well as who our leading scorers are. Of course, we've seen there Simmons leading the team. So third place still is probably in the playoffs, in a wild card spot. We'll see where we actually are. We're actually sixth place in the entire NHL, so that's crazy. We just took everyone's scraps, and we're almost a top 5 team in the league. I would be embarrassed if I was any of those other teams. We're going to take a look at the scores now. Kind of see who's doing well here. So 43 points, 48 games. He's doing really well. Clorin there is 41. And he's actually bouncing between second, third, and fourth line, depending on who's injured. Draisaitl there's at 35. He's actually up to an 85. That's awesome. 7 also is up 1 to an 84. Durant here's at 33, so that's pretty good. I wish he'd be up in overall. Bergenheim's got 26. Sheehan 25. Reed there's at 25. Lee's at 23. Pro 21. I gotta say this right. Gergenson's at 20, same with Grigorenko. Wisniewski's at 18, Orlov 14, Spurgeon 14. So even Stemniak there. Looks like the entire team really is pitching in. We have a ton of guys there with 20 points plus. No one's really killing it. I guess actually Semin and Kaloran are almost a point per game, so they're kind of killing it. But looks like we're definitely getting it done by the committee, which is kind of what we expected there. And we have 4 third lines essentially. Marc-Andre Fleur is probably also playing very good. 2.35 goals against. So that's pretty solid. .923 save percentage. Corby Salo here, .897 save percentage with a 3.06 goals against. He's 84 overall now, though. He wasn't 82, so that's awesome to see. We'll take a look here now at the AHL goalies as well. Malcolm Subban's killing it there, 1.77 goals against, .939 save percentage. He's now an 80. Even his backup there's got pretty good stats. Probably has to do with the defense in front of them. We'll take a look here at the AHL scorers. Oliver there's got 25. Dillaro's got 25. Wish he was doing a little better than that. TVR has 23 as a defenseman, so that's pretty solid. Cunningham 22. Gaudette 20. Where's the guys that I actually want to see doing good? Poirier there's at 18. He's gone up 2 overall, even though he's averaging a point every other game. Gauntz has 17. I wish these two guys were doing a lot better. Same with Dillarose. I thought they'd be doing better than they are, but that's all right. Defensive defenseman there in Corrado and Manson. Not very many points, but I mean, it looks like they're probably doing solid. So I definitely can't complain. This team, both the NHL and AHL teams, are looking very good. And like I was saying, it is the All-Star game, so we'll go check here which of our players made it. Maybe we even had 2 make it. That would be kind of crazy if in our first season we have a couple guys in the All-Star game. So we'll look here. I definitely have to keep an eye out for names that I should recognize, as I might forget exactly who's on our team. So we got Kopitar, we got Keith, Tavares, Patty Kane, Carlson, Tarasenko. I got to find the Las Vegas team name there, which I'm not seeing yet. McDavid. Morgan Riley, Taylor Hall, come on, where's our team? So I just scanned through all the messages again, and I can't find who from our team made the All-Star game, so I think maybe actually none of our players made it, which kind of sucks, I guess, but oh well, it's just a small thing. We're now at the trade deadline in February. We still have a very good record here of 35, 17, and 9. We did start the month with 4 straight losses, so I thought maybe, this was the time we went back to reality, but then we followed it up with 5 straight wins, and since then it's been about 500, so I'm kind of in a tough spot here. My plan was to trade away all those guys we signed as free agents to get stuff back. Of course, that'd make our team worse, so we're not going to play as well, but I think I can still trade away some stuff and probably make the playoffs. It's tough because my whole plan was to get a high pick, and it would kind of be, I don't know, it seems stupid, I think, if we're in a playoff spot and we just kind of sell everything and lose it. So I kind of have to basically draw the line of where we can afford to give up stuff and still make the playoffs. I think that'd be kind of cool, but obviously I still want to get some assets back. So we'll see what kind of trades you can make. Obviously, you have to be careful. AHL team there, 26, 18, and 5 is also looking pretty good. Probably going to make the playoffs. I'm actually curious to see where we are in the division standings. That will kind of affect my moves. So, yeah, we kind of have a pretty good spot there at third place, 79 points. I think we can definitely make it as long as we don't trade away everything. I think we can afford to trade away a few guys, and just, I don't know, call some guys up to fill in that fourth line. Especially because our fourth line is so strong, we could pretty much trade away that whole fourth line and still do decent. And I think we could even afford to trade away defensemen. So maybe we'll trade away 3 or 4 guys here, and hope Fleury can carry us through. I think Fleury will probably get traded in the summer, as I might as well keep him now just to kind of see what happens here if we do make the playoffs. Right here, guys, I'm trying to make a huge trade with the Islanders for their first and third round pick in this year's draft, trading them Bergenheim and Wisniewski. Both guys we signed at the beginning of the year, so basically this is a free first and third round pick. I'm also retaining half of Bergenheim's salary just to kind of sweeten the deal. Obviously, we have a ton of salary cap this year. It's not a big deal. Reason I'm not doing that with Wisniewski as well is in case I need to do it for like another trade. You're only allowed to do it on 3 players. The value is pretty similar. They don't want the picks. They want the players. I think this will go through. Wisniewski's a big loss for us, but we have a defenseman we can call up in Manson. And then Bergenheim's been playing on the fourth line, so that doesn't really matter. If we get first and third, though, I am very happy with it. So let's see what they say. Trade accepted. And right here, guys, we're trying to trade Matt Reed to the Edmonton Oilers for their second round pick. Reed's a decent player, 83 overall, but he's making $3.6 million for the next 2 years. So if I don't have to pay him that next year, I actually don't mind. Right now, he's playing like fourth, sometimes third line. So again, a guy we can replace at least for this season. And we should be okay. So we'll see if they can get a free second round pick from the Oilers. They're rebuilders. So that means it's probably a high second round pick. Surprised they're willing to do this. We'll see what they say on this trade. We'd have to call up De La Rose. That means the trade went through. So that's probably it for the trades. We traded away 2 NHL players and an NHL defenseman. All the players I have left, I think I'll resign. So I'm not going to lose anybody for free, or at least anyone of value. So I'm actually trying to make another trade here, guys. This one's with Florida. I'm trying to trade away 4 players I'm definitely not re-signing after this year. All have 1 year left on their deal. All have AHL potential. So rather than just kind of let them go for free, we're not trying to get some free picks. So I'm trying to get Florida's 4th, 5th, and 6th in this year's draft. Just noticed the 6th is Anaheim's, but that'd be pretty awesome. They want 3 of the 4 players. The value's actually on our side, believe it or not. So we'll see what they say. Trade accepted, so that is huge. I'll just go best rosters there. I want to show you guys how many picks we now have in this year's draft. So a couple firsts, a second, a couple thirds, 3 fourths, 3 fifths, 2 sixths, and a 7th round pick. We have so many picks in this year's draft. If we can make the playoffs and have all these picks, that would be awesome. Obviously, the first year draft is usually the best, as it's like the most real players, the most guys with potential. We're going to see if we have any more of those like AHL-ish guys with 1 year left. We're not re-signing, trying to get some late picks from them. And then probably move on and see if we can make the playoffs or not. And right here, guys, we're trying to make one last trade, trading 4 AHL potential players for Toronto's second round pick, which Anaheim currently has. 2 of them have 1 year left, not going to re-sign them. The other 2 have 3 and 2 years left, which is actually good, though, as I don't think they're going to turn into anything. So actually kind of like getting rid of their contract is a plus. And if we get a second round pick back for these 4 players that are not really worth anything, I think that's a huge steal. The value is actually on our side a bit. They don't want the second, they want the 4 players. Here we go. Trade accepted. So I kind of feel bad. I feel like we've stole some trades here from Anaheim, but it is what it is. So I think that's now it for the trade deadline. We have a ton of picks in this year's draft. I'm going to give you guys one last look here. And like I was saying, we actually didn't get rid of too much in terms of NHL talent. So that's okay. So right there you can see we now have 2 firsts and 2 seconds after only having a first, a couple thirds, bunch of 4s, 5ths, some 6th, and a 7th round pick. So we are stacked for the draft, and if we can still pull off the playoffs, it's a win-win. Like I was saying, guys, even after those trades, team still looks really solid. First line's intact, same with the second line. Third line there, things pretty much the same. The fourth line has gotten worse here with Arvidsson, Stepniak, De La Rose, but for a fourth line, it's not terrible. Looking at the defense now as well, obviously we lost Wisniewski, but Manson's back there. If his morale goes back up, he's an 82. I don't think it's too bad. And then goalies, of course, both still look really good. So I think there's still a chance that you can squeak into the playoffs. And with all the picks we have, I mean, it's almost unfair just making the playoffs with that many picks in the draft. So I just finished to the end of the season, guys. We have a record of 46, 25, and 11. Even after the trade deadline, after we traded away a few solid players, we still played really well, over 500 for sure. I'm not exactly sure our record for that time, but we played well enough to finish with a very solid record. AHL team even, they lost a few players that got called up to the NHL team, and they're still 37, 22, and 5. So I really don't get this game sometimes. I would have a team that was twice as good as this team, and I guess we'd have as good a regular season, if not better. But if this team can somehow pull up a Stanley Cup, I'm assuming we made the playoffs in the first year. I feel like that would just be so fluky. Fan happiness there is at a 90. We will see. I'm 99% sure we made the playoffs with 103 points. Yeah. First in the division. LA, though, 1 point behind us there. They must have a game left. Otherwise, they would have a Z next to our name. Or I guess not actually. Or, no, it should have a Y though, I guess, if we won the division. So let's advance a day here. See if LA maybe wins a game or not. And there we go. We actually win the conference. LA finishes with 103 points. They lost in overtime, but we must have more regulation wins than them. That's crazy. So first year in the league, we won the Western Conference. Like, that's just unbelievable. We don't have a player on our team over 85 overall, aside from Marc-Andre Fleury, of course, our goalie. 103 points, LA's tied, San Jose there with 98. We'll take a look here at the entire Western Conference. So us, Dallas, or Minnesota, Dallas, LA, Winnipeg, San Jose, Nashville, St. Louis. Like, I can't believe that. If we got first in the NHL, technically. 103 points for both us and Minnesota, and we both had the exact same regulation wins. So I guess we tied for the President's Trophy. Wait, Minnesota has a Y though for clinch division. Oh yeah, so we won the President's Trophy because the entire league there, we won the West, Minnesota's in the West. So first year in the NHL, everyone's leftovers, a couple trades for Draisaitl and Durant, a few free agent signings of veteran guys, and we win the entire NHL. That's nuts. That's like Leicester City craziness, except probably even crazier. So even if we don't play well in the playoffs, I'm not too worried about it. Like I already showed you guys, we have so many picks. Like the playoffs don't even matter. I just wanted to make it. And the fact we did is kind of crazy. As you can see, we blew 28 wins out of the water. We finished with 46. So not even close. Also, guys, I almost forgot to show you the scoring leaders for the end of the regular season. 7 there led us in points, 65 in 82 games. Clorin there at 60. Draisaitl 59, Durant 54, now an 84 overall. Perreault there 41, Girgensons 38, Lee 38, Sheehan 36, Spurgeon 32 as a defenseman, Grigorenko 31. So the whole team here was pitching in. I'm really impressed with how good this team did. Like the fact that they won the President's Trophy, I just can't, like that's unreal. Fleury here 2.37 goals against, .925 save percentage. Corby Salo even 2.38 against, .924 save percentage. So I think this goalie tandem is a big reason why we're having the success we are. Otherwise, it just doesn't really make sense considering how good the rest of the team is, as in they're not that good. AHL team here, Oliver there, just a random dude, 48 points, led the team in scoring. Cunningham 46. De La Rose had 32 in 49 games. TVR 31. Gaunt's 29. So like the guys who I wanted to play better did okay, but I mean the fact that like this Oliver dude, just a random 76, outscored De La Rose. He did have 20 more games though. But still. Expected a bit more, especially like Poirier here, 21 points, 50 games. I thought he'd be like closer to maybe a point per game, but that's okay. The AHL team's in the playoffs. Our expansion team won the President's Trophy. I can't complain. First round of the playoffs here, we're going up against St. Louis. So before I start simming, I want to make sure the lines are all good, and we'll see what kind of playoff success we can have. So here we go, guys. First round of the playoffs, going up against the St. Louis Blues. If we can actually win a playoff series too, that would be crazy. Like just looking at the lines kind of made me like think just how dumb this is. Like I was saying, like we have nobody good except for Fleury, and we even have a couple 70s in the lineup right now as some guys are injured. So first goal of the playoffs there, Durant is the first ever Vegas scorer. Let's see, second period there, Ferrero scores, and third period, nothing. Let's see, we go to OT, and then Matthew Perreault gets it done in OT. We actually win our first playoff game ever in OT, so that's awesome to see. Durant's actually now up to an 84, so he's gone up in overall, which is good to see. I mean, I've been playing him on the first line every chance I get. For some reason, the assistant coach keeps putting him on the second line, and I have assistant coach edit lines on just to make it easier, like with injuries and stuff. It would be super tedious otherwise, but second game, first period, De La Rose scores, Stastny scores, so it's a 1-1 game. Nothing in the second period, and there we go. We pull out the win in the third. 2 goals from Stepniak, who's still playing on the fourth line, so fourth line there, getting it done. I love it. I don't know how this team is winning. I don't understand it. I thought I was pretty well versed in GM mode. Knew how things work, knew how to build a good team. But I guess sometimes, even if you don't have the best of team, if you just get really lucky, get some good chemistry or something, you can pull out the win. So 2-0 series lead here. First game of this third game in St. Louis. Now Clorin scores, same with Tarasenko, so it's 1-1. Schwartz and Tarasenko scored 2 there in the second. We tie it up though with I gotta say his name right, with Girgensons and Durant there in the third. So it's 3-3 now. And there we go, Merrill with the OT winner. So we're up 3-0 on the St. Louis Blues, who have a sick team. That is insane. I thought it'd be kind of, unfair if we make the playoffs and have all those picks. Imagine we win the Stanley Cup in our first year as an expansion team, and we just get all these awesome prospects. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. If we sweep St. Louis Blues, that's a statement for a new franchise. So first game, down 2-1, Durant gets a goal for us. Nothing in the second. Can we come back in the third? Nothing in the third. So no sweep there, but still Up 3 games to none now. We'll see what happens here. We're up 3 games to 1 now. Just have to win one of these next 3 games. AHL team's also in the playoffs right now, going up against the Condors there. Looks like it'll be a pretty good series. So, first game here, or sorry, fifth game here. I'm losing track of time. Nothing happened in the first. Upshaw scores there in the second. Fabry and Schwartz. All right, so we definitely do not want to get reverse sweep. We still have the 3-2 lead. Only have to win one of these next 2 games. I definitely believe the team can do it. That would be pretty awesome to see happen. So, AHL team's also up in their series. They're up 2-0. Looks like we're going to St. Louis. We won our first game in St. Louis in OT. Maybe we can do it again here in Game 6. First period there, down 2-0, down 3-0. Lee there gets a goal. Unfortunately, we lose 4-1. So, I don't know. Maybe the Cinderella story is coming to an end here. Up 3 games to none in St. Louis. If we're about to get reverse sweep, it's going to go from embarrassing for St. Louis to embarrassing for us. But, I mean, the fact that we're even here, I think, is a statement, especially after winning the entire NHL. Like, we won the President's Trophy. I guess, actually, no. If we won the President's Trophy, we should win the first round of the playoffs, regardless if we're an expansion team or not. So, let's win this Game 7 here. First period, nothing happened. Second period, there we go. Delarose, Perreault, and Lee score. Same with Fabry. So, it's a 3-1 game. We need to pull it out here in the third. And there we go. 7 and Brodziak score. We get the 4-2 win. Win our first series as a franchise. Unreal. So now in the second round of the playoffs, going up against the LA Kings. Our AHL team also made the second round of the playoffs. As you can see there, they won 3-1 against the Bakersfield Condors. So let's see if we can keep this going here. I got really worried about that first round, getting reverse swept. Going up against LA here, probably a better team. Dustin Brown getting a couple goals there in the first. Purcell gets 1. We get 2 there in the third, unfortunately not enough. We lose 4-2. At this point, I feel like it's like almost playing with house money. Like, I don't even really care how we do, if that makes sense. We won the President's Trophy as an expansion team. I've said that like 5 times. Won the first round of the playoffs, so we get our first, playoff series win. At this point, like I said, it's whatever happens. I did not expect to be here at all. I thought we would honestly be like dead last. But apparently, no matter kind of how average your forward and defense is, as long as you have a stud goalie, you're going to do well. First period of the second game here, Toffoli gets 1. Muzzin gets 1 in the second. Pearson there in the third. So we're actually having some trouble here scoring in this series. Getting shut out there. And, I mean, 5 of 6 periods now, actually, we haven't scored a goal. So that's not good, but third game here, maybe we can bounce back, tie the series up. We'll see what happens here. I'd like to at least score a goal. I don't want to get embarrassed out here and get swept. There we go. Spurgeon gets 1 in the first period. Nothing in the second, and then Purcell ties it up. So going to OT now. And there we go. Gaunt's there with the OT winner. He actually got called up from the AHL due to an injury or due to a trade. I forget exactly when he got called up, but there he goes. Make sure we don't get swept, so that's good to see. Heading to Game 4 now. If we could actually win back-to-back games here, you never know what could happen. Like, as you can see throughout the regular season, as well as that St. Louis playoff series, anything can happen. So first period here, King scores. Second period, Gilbert. Third period, we get 1 back from Duran, but Toffoli gets 2. So 4-1 loss there. Probably going to lose this series 4-1, I think. We have to win the next 3 games straight. We do have 2 games at home, which is good, but I don't really see it mattering. AHL team 2, I just noticed, is 4-3 now. So they are down 1-2 in their series. I just wanted to see what's happening there. So Game 5, let's see what happens. Like I said, it's okay if we lose at this point. Toffoli scores. Wow, Delarose and Drysdale get 2. Clifford gets 1. We're tied up 2-2 going to the third period. Spurgeon and Carter, we're going to OT. And there we go. Stempniak, the OT winner, keeps us alive, keeps us in this series. Heading to Game 6 now. That's crazy. This team's just finding a way to stay alive. I love it. So, I mean, we're heading home now. Or, sorry, we're actually heading to LA. My bad. If we win this game, we head home. And, I mean, honestly, I think I'd like our odds Game 7 at home. But Game 6 here, this is going to be the tough one. First period, there we go. Down by 2. Purcell and Clifford each score. Second period, they get 3 more. And third period, we get 3 goals. Unfortunately, too little, too late. Greg Ranko, Gergensen line. Wait, yeah, that right. Those names are so similar. I thought somebody might have had a hat trick there. But, yeah, Greg Ranko gets 2. Gergensen gets 1. Unfortunately, they'll lose that game 5-3. So, we made it to the second round of the playoffs. Got beaten Game 6 by the LA Kings. I think that is... Like, that's amazing. Like I said, I thought we'd be last place for sure in the sweepstakes for Nolan Patrick. Now we have 2 first-round picks. Maybe I can couple them to try and trade for Patrick or Liljegren or somebody. Probably, though, we'll just pick where we are. I don't know. It depends, I think, kind of. Nolan Patrick didn't turn out last time, and I'm not sure how good Liljegren gets. So maybe I could try and go for Liljegren. I think Comtois gets good, too. But either way, AHL team is still in the playoffs. I should mention that. They're going up against the Ontario Reign here. Just going to sim through the games like, you guys can see now. We actually just lost that. So they made it to the conference final, which is also pretty solid. Their team pretty much got stripped throughout the year. Like, they lost defensemen throughout the year. Like, immediately, actually, they lost forwards. And they still got it done, so I'm pretty impressed with that. I'm going to sim to the draft now. As you guys can see here, we have one last scouting assignment, and we'll see what unfolds there. So the draft lottery results just came in, and I didn't even realize, but New York Islanders missed the playoffs after making that trade with us, which is awesome. So we have a first and a second round pick from a team that didn't even make the playoffs. Unfortunately, though, they did not win the lottery. They're actually the best team that didn't make the playoffs, but that's okay. As you can see there, Calgary actually won the lottery. Carolina and Montreal, the two teams behind. I don't see Detroit's name here, so that's good to see. I think Detroit actually made the playoffs this year, which usually doesn't happen in the franchise mode, but there's all the teams. Next, we'll see the retired players. Probably not anyone too crazy that retired. Also, guys, right here, I got the owner goal for the 75% concession fan happiness, which we failed. I don't really care, though. We're an expansion team, won the President's Trophy. We got him the first round pick. We got him like double the wins he wanted. I don't see how he could possibly complain. I don't know. So we're looking at the retired players here. Nobody on our team, which makes sense. We actually had a pretty young team, especially considering the fact like our oldest guy was 31 and we traded both of them. Retired regular players, though, we got Yager, Thornton, Iginla, Hossa, Marlowe, Henrik Sedin, Elias, Zetterberg there. They actually got traded in Nashville. Ribeiro, Heatley, the All-Star, Savard, Cullen, Williams, Legwand, Havlat, Chara, Dubras. Like, look at all the 1,000 games played guys here. I didn't even know Kyberle was still in the game. Campbell, Boys, Vishnowski, Handzus. I'm just trying to go into, like, I don't have any more 1,000 game players. Stewart, Roosevelt. Gee, just a bunch of legends getting retired here. I guess not legends, but a bunch of guys that just, played some years in the NHL. So that looks like the end of it. We'll also take a look here and see if there's any good goalies that retired. No goalies retired, apparently, so that's interesting. And it's now the day of the draft, so this is a big day for us, obviously. You guys seen how many picks we had after the trade deadline. It's going to be crazy. So we know we're picking at 14 with the Islanders pick, and then we also have number, let's see, what number pick do we have? We have pick number 26 there. That's our own pick. So usually there's some good stuff available in the first round. The thing is, I don't know where some of the players go. I might try and couple these two picks to go into like the top 5. See like what team's pick I can get. I probably can't get the Flames, but even if we can get like Montreal, Vancouver, New Jersey, one of those picks, I think it's worth it. Alright guys, so I just messed up big time. I accidentally clicked sim to user pick opposed to just sim pick. So I'm not able to trade for any of the first 13 picks as it's now pick number 14. It's my pick. Calgary though messed up bigger than me. High top 9 forward there, first overall. What a bust. Liljegren to Carolina. Their defensive core is going to be amazing, and they're all going to be like under 25. Kane here, I'm not sure who that is. Montreal definitely messed up. Vesalainen there at 4. I don't know who Thylander is at 5. Comtois at 6. Nolan Patrick didn't go till 7 for Edmonton, so Edmonton always lucks out. Pick number 7, they still get the best player in the draft. Rasmussen there at 8 for the Penguins. Foot there at 9, that's actually Adam Foot's son. Papaguev, I don't know how to say his name, at 10. Vlardy here, he's a Spitfire at 11. Strome there at 12. Ruzika, I don't know who that is, at 13. So I think I'm just going to make this pick at 14, and then I might try and trade that second first round pick with some other stuff for one of these players. I'm pissed. I wanted one of those guys. I don't really know who's available in terms of like actually known players that are any good, but I guess we'll take a shot here, see what is available. Probably just going to go by projected here. Straskny, top 9 forward. Skinner, first round. He's the goalie. I've seen him later in the years. He usually doesn't get better than like an 85, so I'm not going to take a 85 goalie as my first round pick, especially with Corby Salo on the roster. It wouldn't really make sense. Let's take a look here at potential and see what is available. So Bomb 6 forward there is the best in terms of high. Exact is AHL, so our scouts didn't do too good this year, as there's definitely better than that available in this draft. What I think I'm going to do too, we definitely have a lot of good defensemen. I don't really need a goalie. We need a forward. Like Strasny here, top 9. That doesn't seem like it's worth it for a first round pick. Looking at all this here, honestly, I'm going to back out of this pick. I'm going to try and trade this pick along with our other first round pick for any of these players. We'll see if we can get it done. So right here, guys, I'm trying to trade our 2 first-round picks for Nolan Patrick. Nolan Patrick didn't pan out in our franchise mode in Florida, but I think because we have such a lack of center depth in Vegas, and because our team's not as good, there'll be more opportunity for him to play, and he should turn out better. At least that is my hope. I think, too, we need a center a lot more than we need a winger. Like, we have pretty solid winger depth, so it really wouldn't make sense to get, like, Comtois or Strome or any of those guys. We could go and get Valiardi, I guess, if we can't get Nolan Patrick here. The value's on our side. They want both the first-round picks. Let's see what happens here. Trade accepted. So we get Nolan Patrick there, which is pretty crazy, I think. I was going to try to trade for first overall to, get Nolan Patrick. And I think, again, too, even though he didn't turn out in the Florida one, like, he has medium elite potential. He should be better than Rasmussen, who's got low elite. He should be better than Valiardi, who's got top 6. You never know, though. I'm actually going to try and trade, I think, for Rasmussen as well. He's got low elite potential. If we could get both those guys, that'd be pretty awesome. Give us a lot of, young center depth moving forward. So right here, guys, we're trying to trade for Velarde, another one of those top prospects we missed out on. If we could have Patrick and him as like our future first and second line center, Draisaitl at the third line center spot, that would be perfect. This Whitney guy is just there for the roster spot. They're interested in all 3 of these AHL players, so trying to take advantage of that. And I'm also getting them the Oilers' second round pick, which, as you've seen, was actually the 7th pick. So it's a pretty high pick, but obviously for a first round choice, I'm not too upset with that at all. We'll see what they say here. And they say trade accepted, so that is awesome. We just got 2 huge prospects. Obviously, we missed out on our 3, top picks, but we got the 7th. What was it? And Patrick went 7th overall, and Velarde went 11th overall. So I really like that. I was trying to get Rasmussen after Patrick instead of Velarde, but Pittsburgh wanted too much, and I think Velarde might turn out to be just as good. So I'm happy with that. Really, now all we have to do is worry about getting like a elite winger, as we already have a lot of good defensive prospects. But we'll just keep drafting now. I don't think I'm going to trade any more picks. Try and find some late round steals. So we're now in the second round, guys, but I wanted to take a look here and see who Edmonton got with our picks. So pick number 14, they got Rastanen, top 4D potential. Detroit there took Skinner. Let's see. And with their second pick, they got Keating, who's a top 9 forward potential guy. So I'm not too upset with that at all. And then Colorado with our second round pick got an AHL top 2D. So that trade worked out pretty well. Obviously, we could have taken a better player, but that's pretty funny. I'm going to see what else happened here. Detroit actually took two goalies in Skinner and DiPietro. DiPietro is actually from my hometown, so that's kind of cool. Don't know why they took 2 goalies, but we have pick number 23 here in the second round, our first actual pick of the draft. Hopefully we can, strike gold here. Usually there's some pretty solid players still available. Like, you could get a top 4D for sure. Probably not like a top 9 forward, or sorry, not a top 6 forward, but you could get a top 9 forward. So 7th D is the best our scouts have in regards to high. And okay, so yeah. We're definitely just going to have to take a chance here with projected, as our scouts, I scouted all year, but they haven't found too many good players. So let's see. There's a couple defensemen. We already made those trades for some centers. Santala there. AHL extra forward, so apparently he's not supposed to be that good. Can we go with like this dude, the Norway defenseman? AHL top 4D. This is tough. I'm just going to go with this guy. He's first on the list. I hope he doesn't suck. Medium top 6. That's not too bad. So now making our third round pick number 12. Hopefully we can get lucky again. Like I said, scouts aren't going to help us out much here at all. We're basically just taking a chance on every single player, hoping for the best. So let's see. Actually, this guy here, top 6 forward, I didn't notice him last time. I don't know how that didn't show up. Please be a top 6. There we go. Low top 6 in the third round. I will take that. Our next pick here is actually 2 picks later. Pick number 14 in the third round. We have so many late picks. We can afford to miss on a couple as long as we hit on some, which I think we've done pretty good so far with our last 2. I'm going to have to search again by exact, because last time it showed AHL as the best, but there was a top 6 guy there. So I don't understand. Oh, because it goes reverse like this. Okay, my bad. So there's some AHL. He would have been at the bottom unseeable, so might have missed out on possibly somebody better. That just been my mistake. So we're just going to go by projected again, though. We did double check it there. There's a backup goalie. I could take a chance on him in like a really late round. This defenseman here is AHL top 2D. He could actually be like top 60. This guy here is completely unknown. Could take a chance on him. These defensemen here both could be a lot better. I think I'm going to go with the unknown center here with our second, third round pick. Please be good. And AHL top 6. That was a tough pick. We're now making pick number 12 here in the fourth round. I'm going to try and make up for that last pick. Sometimes, you just miss, though. And that's why, like I said, I wanted to have a ton of late picks here so we can afford to miss a couple times. So I don't want to go unknown again, as last time that didn't work out too well. AHL top 6 forward could be, like, honestly, a bomb 6 forward. But there's also AHL top 6D at the top there, and that Martin guy. I wish I recognized some of these names. Unfortunately, I just don't. Like, it'd be really hard to, like, know all the names in the first year of the draft. This Fogel guy, though. Fogel, isn't that, like, from Superbad or something? I'm just going to go with it now. I have to. And medium bomb 6 forward. So that's actually pretty solid for a fourth round pick. Now making pick number 15 here in the fourth round. We'll see if we can get at least, another NHL potential player. Basically, 7th D or bomb 6 forward or better. AHL top 6 forward, again, he could be a lot better than that. Same with the AHL top 2D. What do we need more? A winger or defenseman? Probably, I don't know. Robertson's higher up, though. Let's go with this Robertson guy. Please be good. AHL top 6 forward. We now have pick number 26 here in the fourth round. Just going to take a quick look here and see if we missed out on anybody good. So Looks like just bomb 6 forwards is all we really missed out on. Everyone else is AHL, so if we can get a bomb 6 forward or better, we are laughing. So far, draft started out pretty good, made some nice trades. We need to get better than these AHL guys, though. Let's see. How do you say that name? Heiskanen, AHL top 4D. I'm just going to take him. He's first on the list. Finish. And low top 6D. That's not too bad. We're now in round 5. Pick number 12. Like I said, I just want to keep not getting AHL players. AHL players are irrelevant. Like, I always just use them in trades. I don't know why, like, NHL teams even trade for them. I mean, sometimes there are some guys with AHL potential end up being, like, at least an 82 or something. That's best case scenario. I'd much rather have, like, a more surefire prospect. So this next one here, get highly interested in these two guys. Maybe just go with the forward there. I didn't even see what his name was. Nurse, AHL top 6, so that was a waste. Pick number 16 now in round 5. Gotta make up for that last one. I feel like we're pretty much going alternate here between like an AHL potential guy and a NHL potential guy, so we should get an NHL one here if we can keep it going. This dude has high league interest. Only guy left supposed to go in the 5th round. No one else has high league interest. We gotta go with him. Please, EA. Low bomb 6. There you go. Still in the 5th round here. We had 4 5th round picks apparently. I thought we had like 3, but that's crazy. I think we have 2 or 3 6th, and I believe we traded our 7th. We might not have though. I honestly forget. We were doing so many trades with picks and stuff. This guy here is the only one with high league interest. That should mean he's a bit better than the other guys, and AHL top 2D. So I don't know, not really. Round 6 now. Pick number 12. Let's see what we can get here. I think it literally has been, I already said this, but like we just keep alternating between AHL and not NHL, or AHL and NHL. So we have to get an NHL player here. It's going to be tough. Look at what's left. 7th Ds, extra forwards, unknown. Some league interest. This guy's unknown, some league interest from the Czech Republic. And he's a 7th D. That's a pretty good pick in the 6th round. Pick number 26 here. I believe this is our last pick in the draft, unless I have a 7th. I can't remember if I trade away the 7th or not. So we'll see what we can get here. Actually, I haven't even taken a goalie, but I mean, we have Korpisalo and Subban, which will last us like the 15 years of the franchise mode. This guy, though's got high backup potential. I think I was saying I wanted to take him too. Like, that's not bad for a 7th pick. He could be like a starting AHL goalie. Fringe starter, actually. That's a steal at the end of the 6th round. I am very happy with that. And we actually do have one more pick, guys. We do have our 7th round pick. This will be the last pick of the draft. That last one, I can't believe we got a goalie that good. Like, if you think about it, DiPietro was drafted by Detroit in the 2nd round. He had medium fringe starter potential. So we got the same thing late in the 6th. That's just unreal. I think here we're just taking a guess no matter what. Like, it's pretty cleared up. AHL bomb 6 forwards. Oh, there's a guy there with actually highly interest, though. I'm going to go back to that. Bunch of exact AHL top 2Ds. You can probably find them in free agency after the draft. Or actually, if they're 20, you'll be able to find them. But this guy here, high league interest, Russian sniper. I don't know. Maybe he's like the next Datsuk. Low bomb 6. That's pretty solid for the end of the 7th round. Everyone else is AHL pretty much. Top 9 forward. Okay, that was a steal. I'm just kind of looking at these 7th round picks. So yeah, bomb 6 is, above average, and that one team got top 9. But end of the draft now, I'm going to go to the re-sign phase, and then see what happens here in the summer. Before I get into the re-sign phase, guys, I actually wanted to show you the awards from this season. Obviously, we know we won the President's Trophy, Stanley Cup there, the New York Rangers. That's still crazy to me. I can't believe we won that. Clarence Campbell, the Dallas Stars, Prince of Wales there, the New York Ranger. Player awards here, Perry with the Art Ross, Wheeler with the Hart, Carlson with the James Norris, Kane with the Lady Bing, Launay with the Calder, Lundqvist with the Conn Smythe, Anderson with the Vesna, Jones with the William and Jennings, Bill Masterson there, the Severson, Bergeron with the Selke, Wheeler with the Ted Lindsay, and then Ovechkin with the Maurice Richard for the 5th straight year. AHL awards here, Syracuse Crunch with the Calder Cup. We'll see if our team, we won our division, it looks like. Yeah, champions of the Pacific Division, and that was it for the team awards. Player awards here, Corey Conacher just crushing it. Syracuse Crunch just crushing it. Conacher with a couple awards, same with Morin. Coburn there. Subban there actually got an award, though. Best goaltender in the AHL, so that's awesome to see. Yaskin, who we sent to Syracuse Crunch, also got an award. So they got, like, I don't know, half the awards, maybe more, but we did get one, so I'm happy with that. So we're out the re-sign phase here, guys. Have a lot of money in cap space, just under $30 million. Cloran here is an 86 now. He actually got a big boost. Same with Draisaitl, was an 86. He needs a new contract, though, so he's going to get paid. He wants $4.5 for 2 years. I'd rather sign him long-term. Let's see here. Even at 8 years, that's until he's 29. He only wants $5 million. If we can get him at 8 years for, say, I don't even know, like 4.65, and he continues to play as well as he is, I think that's a really good deal for us, especially like as the cap goes up. Sheehan there didn't get any better, unfortunately, this year. He's a solid like 3rd or 4th line guy. Same with Gergensen. Merkley's obviously a prospect. Nolan Patrick there, same thing. Sumla needs a new deal. We'll give him like a couple year deal. He's a 66, so until he's 25. That's fine, I guess. The rest of these guys that are unsigned aren't worth signing. Left wings here, top 3 are already signed. Duran needs a new deal. He's an 84 now. He went up by 2. He's another guy I'd like to sign long term. Usually gets good. 7 years though, he wants, or 8 years, he wants 6.4. 7 wants 5.8. 6, 5.2. 5 years looks to be like the sweet spot. 4.7. Or actually, what does he want? 2, 3.7. We can give him an extra 2 years for like, we could probably actually sign him for like what he wants now, but for 2 extra years till he's 26. I think that's a good deal there. De Rose here, he's kind of like a fringe player still. Thinks he's a 4th liner though, wants 1.4. I'll give him 1.25. I don't even know if he'll be a 4th liner for us, but we can't really afford to let any players go for free. Same with Gauntz here. Hopefully, yeah, he wants a 2-way deal, which is exactly what I want to give him, so I'll give him the 900K. Cunningham here is 26, just going to let him go. Whitney there was a guy we got back in a trade, just let him go. Those 2 other players aren't worth signing. 7 needs a new deal. 7 honestly played pretty good for us. He was our leading scorer. 3.5 for 1 year. I don't want to give him, or 2 years, sorry. I don't want to give him a 2-year deal. I want to give him a 1-year deal. I don't mind paying like an extra 500K to keep him on a 1-year deal. It makes him easier to expand at the trade deadline. Grigorenko here needs a new deal. He went up 1 overall, or actually, he was either 82 or 83 to start, but 3 years, $3 million. It's not too bad. See kind of what he's made of. Let's give him 2.75 for 3 years. I think he'll accept that. It's a pretty fair offer. Let's see. Arvidsson, he was kind of like bouncing between the AHL and NHL. Late 2 years still. See, if he can get to like an 82 and 83, he'd be a solid depth guy for us. This Carlson guy here, he must have had AHL potential. Now it's bomb 6. We'll give him a contract though. The rest of those guys are not worth signing. Defense, top 4 are signed up. Orlov needs a new deal. We knew that. 3.8 for a 30 or 83-year-old. That's a lot of money. Let's see. He's 25. Let's give him like 3.65 for 2 years and just kind of see what happens with him. Mueller also needs a new deal. Thinks he's an NHL defenseman. He's probably going to turn into one. See if we can lock him out somewhat long term. 8 years, he'd want 4.3. 82 overall. 6 years. Let's see if he'd take $3 million for 6 years. I don't know. This might be like lowballing him a bit, but that would be a pretty good long-term deal for us. 5 years, he would for sure do it. So I think 6 years, he honestly might. And even if he stays at 82, it's not terrible cap, and like we have him kind of like locked up in case he does get good. Corrado hopefully wants a 2-way deal. He does for 1 year. He's an 80 now, so he went up by 1 overall. Those guys, Manson and TVR, both kind of went between the NHL and AHL. They lost some morale. Hopefully they can get it back in the summer. If not, just gonna have to move on from them with the trade. Those 69s are not worth signing. Goalies here, look at this. Fleury's still signed for a couple more years. Corby Salah's now an 86, so he's gonna want a payday. Yeah, 4.6 million. I want him locked up long term. Max deal there, 8 years. He wants 9.5 million though. Wow, for 8 years. Where is it the cheapest? It gets really expensive there after 5 years at 6.8. Even like, oh man, 3 years, 4.6, and it just goes up like ever so much. Oh man, this is tough. So like we'd be paying more now to save. We wouldn't even be saving that much really later. How much he wants. Yeah, I'm just gonna give him I think the 3 years because don't really save anything doing a long-term deal with him. Give him I think 4.275. He should take that. And if he's like a 90 at that point, we could like in the 3rd year could probably make a run at the cup. Malcolm Subban, honestly, I think I might trade Fleury considering like how good Corby Saleh is doing. He's expendable, has a lot of value. Try and bring in like a number 1 defenseman. That's something we definitely need. Subban here, 1.1 for 2 years. He's probably gonna be the backup if that happens. Langhammer, I can probably find a better AHL goalie in the free agency, but that's it for the signings. We'll see if everyone accepts or not. Like I was saying, we have a lot of money to spend. We got Fleury to trade. The team's looking up. As you guys can see here, Draisaitl accepted our offer. That was like a long-term deal. Hopefully it works out. If he gets to like, even if he stays on 86, it works out. So hopefully he just doesn't regress. Corrado accepted our deal. Same with Malcolm Subban, Corby Saleh, Gauntz, De Rose, Grigorenko, Orlov, Arvidsson, Mueller rejected. We were trying to lowball him a bit, so I can give him a bit more money. That's fine. Duran accepted. Semin, Sumala, I'm hoping pretty much so. Everybody else accepted. Mueller we did probably lowball the most. That's okay. The rest of the deals were obviously very good deals for us too. So go make Mueller a new deal and then see what we can do here in free agency. So I went to offer Mueller a new deal and I didn't even realize I didn't offer Gergensen one. So good thing I seen this. That would have been very bad. He only wants 1.75 for 2 years. That seems like a value deal to me. Give him like 1.625 there. And then Mueller here, of course, too. We were trying to do like it was like an 8-year, or no, it was what was it? He only wants 4.3 now for 8 years, but he wanted, I feel like we offered him 4 million. I feel like that's what we offered him or something. Oh no, we offered him 3 for 6. So let's just try getting him now 3 for 5 till he's 27. That's still a good deal. And I think he'll accept that for sure, as it's like only 200K less. And then like I said, we should have a bit of money there to spend in free agency, 7 million. After those 2 deals though, we have like 4 million. So we actually did have to spend a lot of money here, but if we trade Fleury, we'll have a lot of money to spend. And as you guys can see there, Mueller did accept our offer along with Gergensen. So we're all set now. We can go to the free agency and see who's available. So right here, guys, this year's free agent class. As you can see, there's about 2 good players there in Johnson and Wenberg. After that, just a bunch of old guys that want way more money than they're worth. There's no good goalies available. I already checked. So we have 4.8 million in cap space. We could afford to get Wenberg. We'd have to give up, I think, a second or a first round pick though for him. If it's a second, it's worth it. If it's a first, it's maybe worth it. We're a rebuilding team, remember. So our first are, all of our draft picks are worth a lot more to us. Tyler Johnson would be pretty solid though to add to the team. We don't have the cap space for him though. We're gonna take a look here too and see what good two-way players are available. There's an elite player there. Wow, Jacob Larson, 20-year-old, 80 overall, low elite. 4 teams interested. We'll give him the max. I mean, I don't know. I've seen this guy before in franchise mode, and he's never usually this good. So he's got a really good dice roll, I guess. Hintz here's 20, 74 overall. He was on somebody's team. I don't know why they wouldn't have signed him. Just so weird to me. Let's see who else is available. 25. Okay, yeah, so that's not worth it. He's 25. Vejimo, though, I think we've signed him before. He's pretty good. We'll give him like 850K. Or I guess we should just give him the max in case anyone else tries to like outbid us. Tarasov, both low top 9, both 20 and in the 60s. That's kind of rough. Tulo, though, here. I don't know how to say his name. Tulola. He's another Finnish defenseman like Hintz. Not getting signed for some reason. We'll give him an offer. We could use some more defensive prospects, I think. Niku here we signed before. He didn't really turn into much for me. 3 teams interested. I'll give him like 850K. Worst case, we kind of use him in a trade. Mikkola, he's also decent enough to at least make an offer on. We have a bunch of roster spots available. And you know what? Because we have so many roster spots, might as well just give these guys an offer too. Don't really want to give them a lot though. The 200K might not seem like a lot between 750 and 950, but it does end up adding up. If they have no one interested, that's good to see. So we have a total of, I think, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 8 offers there. We definitely have the roster spots for that. But before I advance the day, I want to see if we can trade Fleury for like a #1 defenseman who costs less, and then try and get both Johnson and Wenberg. If we could do that, that'd be an unreal offseason. So right here, guys, we're trying to make a huge trade with Carolina for Noah Hanifin and Liljegren. So 2 top 5 defensive picks. Hanifin, 20 years old, 83 overall, medium elite potential. Obviously, the 5th overall pick in 2015. Liljegren, 18-year-old, 68 overall, medium elite potential. 2nd round pick in 2017. Offering them Marc-Andre Fleury, who has a ton of trade value. I didn't realize how much value he has. It must have to do with like how good of a season we just had, because I feel like he didn't even have this much value at the beginning of the year. As you can see there, it's now like between like the A and the L. It definitely was not there. I think it was like between the D and the E on trade. So his value went up even more. And even Korpisalo, like 23-year-old, 85 overall goalie, if he's starting, he's going to get even better. So like we don't need both of them. I'm also throwing in 4 unsigned prospects, all AHL potential. I think I drafted all of them this year, so kind of like all the picks we missed on. 2 HL top 6 forwards, and 3 HL top 6 forwards, sorry, and an HL top 2 D. They want all 4 of them though, so they'll replace, I guess, some of like the prospects they're missing here. But the main thing is they're getting a starting goaltender. I don't know if they're going to say yes to this. Hanifin and Liljegren also don't have as much value as I expected they would. I'll show you guys here. Justin Falk has about, as you can see, almost double like one of them. So I figured why not try and get Hanifin and Liljegren? Like that'd be like the future top pair for us. We don't need to win now. We're trying to win in like 3 or 4 years. This is a sick trade if it goes through. It's a huge trade. The value's on our side. They want all 5 things. I don't know if they'll give up both these guys. Let's just click A here and see what happens. Trade accepted. That is huge. That's one of the biggest trades ever made. So obviously moving on from a starting goaltender in Fleury, 90 overall, but Korpisalo can take over. Subban is backup. We just got Hanifin and Liljegren. So the defensemen we were looking for, like some good defensive prospects that are better than just kind of top 4, top pair guys. We just found them. So after trading away Fleury, guys, I realized we need a couple AHL goalies, both a starter and a backup. So I'm going to sign this I don't know how to say his name, Vihalayan to try and get him as the backup. He's got decent potential too. Want to outbid Colorado here. He'll be playing in the AHL on a two-way deal, so the 900K shouldn't affect us too much. And then I'm going to try and sign this Forsberg guy here to be our AHL starter. He looks pretty decent, so that should shore up the AHL goaltending. And now, guys, I want to try and sign one of Tyler Johnson or Alex Wennberg. And I also noticed we have a buyout penalty of $1.9 million. I'm not sure which player that would be for. Obviously, it's for someone from Arizona. So that kind of sucks too. It's just like another little added, I guess, obstacle we have to, get by. Hopefully that goes away pretty soon. But for Alex Wennberg, I wanted to see how much we'd have to give up to sign him. So he wants 3 years. Like, let's say we give him 4.5. I want to see what we'd have to give up. So we'd have to give up a first and a third. That's a lot to give up. I think he might be worth it, though. Like, he's a very good young center. The thing is, we could get Tyler Johnson without giving up anything, who's 4 years older, but by the time, Johnson's not great, we have Nolan Patrick coming up, Velarde, Draisaitl. So I want to go for Johnson here first. And if we don't get Johnson, maybe try and get Wennberg. I mean, like I said, the first and the third is a lot to give up, but we could definitely replace the third easily. And the first round pick, I don't know if we could replace it easily, but we could try. So we'll try off for Johnson first. $7 million. We're getting an extra $500K. Carolina, Vancouver. Carolina's rebuilding. We won the President's Trophy last year, so shouldn't say anything like, your team's not good enough. So we'll see what happens with all these players, and if we don't get Johnson, I think we'll probably go for Wennberg. I think it's worth the picks. As you guys can see here, this Zirkle guy has accepted our offer. He's one of the top 9 forward potential with 60 overall. Niku accepted, Tarasov, so all those two-way guys, or at least a few of them did. Let's see who else. Forsberg, our AHL starting goaltender. Vejdemo, he usually turns out okay. Larson, he was like that 80 overall defense and elite potential. He had like 5 teams interested. We won the President's Trophy. He wants to play in Vegas. That's awesome. Tulola accepted as well. This is really helping out how many like contact spots we had open. I think we had like 32 of 50 after the re-sign phase. This is huge. Vihalayan there with Hintz. He's our AHL backup. Mikola. Pretty much got everybody so far. No one's rejected. Tyler Johnson accepted. That is huge. I mean, when you have, I guess, a ton of money, a ton of roster spots open, and you had such a good season last year, people are going to want to play for you. So I want to see now how much money we have to spend, because I honestly still might go after Wennberg. Never mind, he signed. So that ship has sailed. That's okay. I am pretty happy with how this team is looking. Honestly, I think we'll just sim to the end of the summer, see where the overalls are at, and then go from there. I think the team is pretty much set for next season. So at the end of the summer now, guys, I was looking at the trading block, and I seen that Anaheim has Matthew Strom on the block, another one of those first-round prospects that are very good. His value's not even that high, and I noticed that a lot of our younger players are actually higher in the overall now, and so it really wouldn't make sense to keep them in the AHL, so I'm going to try and trade away a couple more of our veteran players. If we get a nice prospect back like Matthew Strom, I think it's definitely worth it. So we'll see what it takes here to get him from Anaheim, and then I'll give us our younger players some more playing time. So I'm going to see if they'll take Mark Methot for Matthew Strom 1-for-1. It looks like it's pretty equal value. They want Methot. They don't want Strom. Here we go. We have to call up Hanifin, so there we go. That's what I was talking about. Like, Hanifin was in the AHL. Like I was saying, guys, we don't really need Stepniak anymore. We're making $2.5 million, 82 overall. We have better players in the AHL, or actually he's a 79 right now. So I tried to get a third from Pittsburgh. They said no. We're going to try and get a fourth and a fifth now. And that trade goes through as we called up Poirier, who right now is an 83. So I'll show you guys the lines now. Team is looking very good. So right here, guys, I look at our lines going into next season. Durant, Johnson, Greg, Ranko on the first line. Durant actually was an 86, so must have traded away someone he had high morale with. Semin, Draisaitl, Clorin on the second. Perreault, Gergensen, and Poirier on the third. And then Lee, Sheehan, and De La Rose on the fourth. Defense here, we have McNabb and Spurgeon, Mueller and Hanifin, then Merrill and Orlov. In goal, we have Korpisalo, now an 87, so he's gone up 5 since the start of last season. Subban's an 84, so he's also gone up 5. He was a 79, so that's a sick goalie tandem there. AHL team, pretty similar. Got Gauntz, Hintz now, and Arvidsson on the first line. Carlson, Ulver, and Merkley. Select, Vejdemo, and Zirkles, and then Kabitsky, Moon, and Walters. So added some forward guys in there. Defense, the Jacob Larson guy we signed, he's in the AHL, 82. I'd like him to be in the NHL as he's top 6D role, but our NHL defense, I guess I could try and trade Orlov, and I think I might do that as Larson's younger, only 1 overall below. So definitely let me know what you think about that. I think before next season starts, but in the next episode, I'm going to try and trade Orlov away. Corrado there, top pair with him. TBR now at 78. Morale went down and whatever, playing in the AHL. Same with Manson, so that kind of sucks. I kind of ruined them, but neither of them had that much value. So, I don't know, maybe their morale will go back up if they're playing good in the AHL. Tulola and Mikola, I think that's how you say those two names, on the bottom pair. And then in goal for the AHL team, we have Forsberg there. And I don't know how to say this guy's name. Vihalayan. You guys can let me know about that one. So I think both teams looking very good. In regards to the ratings for next season, AHL team here, 74 offense, 82 defense, 78 goaltending. NHL team, 91 offense, 90 defense, 88 goaltending. So pretty excited to see what happens. Like I was saying, we have Orlov we could trade away for stuff, whether it's players or picks. Same with like Manson and TVR. We have a bunch of picks, a bunch of prospects. Our team's just going to keep getting better. Nolan Patrick, Liljegren, Matthew Strome now. So many like good prospects, not even in the NHL yet. The future's looking bright for Vegas. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave that thumbs up. Thank you again for all the support on the last episode. I hope you're going to have that much on this episode. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice day. Goodbye.